Critical race theory in Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind.
As an African American, when I first saw the movie Birth of a Nation, I was horrified. The portrayals, mostly by white men in blackface, of African Americans as buffoons and incapable of civilized behavior, shared nothing in common with my people. At that time, I did not probe deeper to understand why such a movie was made, the politics behind it, or its potential influence on American society. I simply vowed never to watch it again.
As a white person and a Southerner, the movie Gone with the Wind was captivating when I first saw it as a child. The South was depicted as this glorious place where the men were chivalrous, the women were genteel, everyone lived on large antebellum estates, and participated in a multitude of social events. The idea of the noble South and the lost cause aligned with what I had been taught as a child. So at that time in my early youth, I did not question the validity of this movie's interpretation of history or its depictions of African Americans.
To us, due to their incomplete interpretation of history, horrible depictions of marginalized people, and their ultimate power to condition human populations, these two movies are worthy of analysis in our continued conversations that deal with inequality and how unfair perceptions develop and become ingrained over time. Birth of a Nation is a film created by D.W. Griffith and released in 1915. In summary, the movie basically depicts the social and political upheaval and relationships between whites and blacks from the Civil War through Reconstruction. Naturally, all the typical unfair stereotypes, such as unintelligent, uncivilized, lustful, dependent on the government, happy in servitude, of blacks during this time frame, seem to be encapsulated and amplified in this very ugly film. Shortly after the film's release, and a testament to the negative power of this movie, it is often credited with the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan in the United States. This movie loudly screams and proclaims racist ideology, although it is strikingly a silent film.
The following clip is a scene from Birth of a Nation, in which the South Carolina House of Representatives has been overrun by black men, whose actors are mainly white men in blackface. They behave in unprofessional and buffoonish ways, from eating fried chicken and taking off their shoes to making eyes at the white women watching on from above. The first title card reads, "The Riot in the Master's Hall. The Negro Party in control of the state House of Representatives. 101 blacks against 23 whites. Session of 1871. It is moved and carried that all whites must salute Negro officers on the streets. The helpless white minority. White visitors in the gallery. The following scene will show white upper-class women standing in the gallery surrounded by black men. The representatives below also look up at these white women. Passage of a bill providing for the intermarriage of blacks and whites. The scene after shows the white ladies exiting the gallery while the black men below celebrate the passing of the bill.
The movie Gone with the Wind was created by David O. Selznick and released in 1939, 24 years after Birth of a Nation. This movie primarily focuses on the life of Scarlett O'Hara, the family heroine, and begins in an idyllic setting in the Deep South filled with exuberance, before slowly devolving into the horrors and aftermath of war. Like Birth of a Nation, it too covers the Civil War and Reconstruction periods. However, unlike Birth of a Nation, Gone with the Wind at least attempts to humanize some African Americans, but still falls prey to racist stereotyping, sometimes more subtle, but just as virulent. Even though the African American actress Hattie McDaniel won an Oscar for her portrayal of Mammy, the first black person to win an Oscar, no shiny statuette can undo the negative images. Loyal Mammy, subservient, superstitious, and childlike. It helped to solidify in the American psyche.
In the following clip from Gone with the Wind, Scarlett's character is shown to be stubborn but creative as she comes up with a plan to make a new gown out of curtains, while Mammy's steadfast loyalty to her white masters and disdain for Yankees is showcased.
You've been brave so long, Miss Scarlett. You just gotta go on being brave. Think about your Pa like he used to be.
I can't think about Pa. Can't think of anything but that $300.
Ain't no good thinking about that, Miss Scarlett. Ain't nobody got that much money. Nobody but Yankees and scalawags got that much money now.
Red.
Who that? A Yankee?
Oh. Oh, Mammy, I'm so thin and pale, and I haven't any clothes.
Scoot up the attic, Mammy, and get down Ma's old box of dress patterns.
What you up to with Miss Ellen's Portiers?
You're gonna make me a new dress.
Not with Miss Ellen's Portiers, not while I got breath in my body.
Great balls of fire in my portieres now. I'm going to Atlanta for that $300, and I've got to go looking like a queen.
Who's going to Atlanta with you?
I'm going alone.
That's what you think. I was going to Atlanta with you in that new dress.
Now, Mammy, darling.
No use to try to sweet-talk me, Miss Scarlett. I knows you ever since I put the first pair of diapers on you. I said I was going to Atlanta with you, and going I is.
In the following scene, Gone with the Wind's heroine, Scarlett's two main love interests have just returned from a raid against freedmen, waged to defend Scarlett's honor. To evade arrest, they then play at drunkenness. Observe how the women support their men's ruse, with the scene playing out as a battle of wits that the Klansmen, never named as such in the film, win.
I ain't so very drunk, Millie.
Take him into the bedroom, Mammy. Lay him out on the bed as usual.
Don't touch him. He's under arrest. Sergeant! Now, Tom, what do you want to arrest him for? I've seen him drunker. I've seen you drunker. And you've seen me.
He can lie in the gutter for all I care. I'm not a policeman. But he led a raid tonight on that shanty town where Mrs. Kennedy got into trouble this afternoon. A lot of those shanties were burned. A couple of men were killed. It's about time you rebels learned you can't take the law into your own hands. Well, what are you laughing at?
This isn't your night to teach that lesson, Tom. These two have been with me tonight. Yes, sir.
With you, Rhett? Where?
I don't like to say in the presence of ladies.
You'd better say.
Come out on the porch and I'll tell you.
Speak out, Captain Butler. I think I have a right to know where my husband's been.
Well, ma'am, we dropped in on a friend of mine. And the captain's. Mrs. Belle Watley. We played cards, drank champagne, and, well...
Now you've done it. You have to show me up in front of my wife?
Now, I hope you're satisfied, Tom. These ladies won't be on speaking terms with their husbands tomorrow.
Well, Red, I had no idea.
Critical race theory offers a way of seeing the world that helps people recognize the effects of historical racism in modern American life. The theory has been used to examine how institutional racism manifests in instances like this housing segregation, bank lending, and education. Kimberly Crenshaw, a founding critical race theorist and a law professor at UCLA and Columbia University, said, quote, "Critical race theory is a practice. It's an approach to grappling with our history that rejects the belief that what's in the past is in the past, and that the laws and systems that grow from that past are detached from it, unquote. In the case of Birth of a Nation and Gone with the Wind, we can apply critical race theory to examine how visual images such as movies shape societal views. In turn, these societal views, even historical ones, still today result in laws and institutions that can have a deleterious effect on our marginalized communities.